Damn it. Hey everybody, welcome back. So today we're going to work on mounting our rear fender and building our sissy bar. So I've already done a little bit of work here. So this was a front fender. These right here were where they had been pinched to go around the forks. So you can kind of see here, but you can see it still has the tabs and stuff on it, so we'll get rid of that. But we're going to work on mounting this bad boy today. So hammer and dollies, I got all these out, so they're pretty good. I got to fix this little trim detail here. I got to bend it up in the back and then hammer it out and then bend it back over, but that'll be good. So this fender fits the curve of, or the radius of our wheel pretty well. So we're going to go with that. We're going to work on the actual mounts, and then we still have to move our wheel over a 1/4 inch. So we'll work on our sissy bar to get it built, and then we'll probably just offset our fender a little bit. Just offset a 1/4, so until we relace our wheel. So we'll go ahead and center our fender and all that stuff. That way it's in there and it's good to go. And then once we offset our wheel with our lacing, then that will be good, and we'll be able to center everything and it'll be good. So if you haven't noticed already, we do have a transmission now. So good there. All the clutch parts came in today. So just waiting on the primary. So we ordered a BDL 1.5 belt, and it'll be here Friday. So once that gets here, we can button all that stuff up and then get our clutch on, all those stuff. So, you know, moving forward a little bit. Still got to get some components for our transmission. I ordered a bunch of stuff for it. Two of the kicker cover bolt holes are stripped out, so we're going to have to do that. Helicoil those and get rid of those bolts are in. I ordered a stud kit so we can put it back to how it originally was. The other thing I got to do with the transmission is we're going to rebuild it at some point. So I got to figure out which rebuild kit I need. There's a few different ones. So once we get that, then we'll rebuild it later on. But that's once everything's done. Sorry, got a little bit of COVID going on. But that's where we're at right now. So let's work on our fender, and first thing we'll do, I'm going to cut these tabs off. I was going to try and use it, but especially with we have a passenger on the back, I don't think it'll support it. So we'll get that on, and then I'll cut these tabs off, and then we should be good to go there. So the other thing for our sissy bar, so our seat, we're not going to run, I don't want to run a real tall seat. I kind of just want to run a flat seat, and then run maybe a back pad or something. So I did have a taillight coming. It's pretty sweet. So the name is like Chop What You Have or something, Chop What You Got on Instagram. She had this really cool, it's like a 3 light with like visors. It kind of looks like a little traffic light, but it has like bubble glass and brass and stuff. So she sold one, she's building me another one, so we should have that going. But it's 6 inches tall and it's like 3 inches wide, so I think it'll fit really well in our sissy bar. Originally I was going to do like 3 round lights up the middle, but I think this will work well. So we'll see what our seat ends up being. I don't want the sissy bar really to be any taller than our bars, so keep the overall height of the bike, so it'd roughly be about here. So we'll see. I need to sit on it and measure like where the back support and all that stuff would be. So we'll get to that, but I have some 5/8 inch stainless bar that I'm going to use for this. So it's a beefy ass sissy bar, so shouldn't have any issues. So we'll get to measuring and start cutting. This is it here, or most of it. So this is all 5/8 inch stainless, and it wraps around our fender up here to mount here on our bong. And then once my taillight gets here, the guy on Instagram is making me one. We're going to fit the taillight in here, and then these will get bent and they'll run straight. So I'll have down here, they'll run up, and then these will straighten out, and then they'll run. We'll probably do a circle at the top, you know, keep it round, or we might do something like, you know, this angle at the top or whatever. So maybe we'll follow this same thing. We'll bring back in and run them back out and make like a little Y TP looking deal. So I don't know, more on that, but trying to keep it lower than the tops of the front handlebars. So I don't want it super tall, but it's still tall enough that a passenger has really good back support. We're gonna put a pad on there, so it's not gonna be a full king queen. Plan on just like a Cobra style seat, or maybe a very small king queen, and then a back pad where the tail light and stuff is to kind of hide everything. So, but anyway, let's back on the sissy bar today. So turned these mounts up the other day. They're all stainless. Turn them in the lathe. Boarded on the inside so we can put our 5/8 inch rod in there, so it fits really nice. I got one of them done. We're gonna do a clevis style. I still gotta do this one, but it'll mount right here. This will come in here. It mounts there, and then our sissy bar will come right up through here. So, of course, with weight on it, it doesn't want to fit. Alright, so we got one done. Just need to get the other one done. Let's get to it. Alright, so got our sissy bar mounts on. Pretty happy with how these turned out. I just threw some hardware in there that I have, and you get the right stuff at some point. But they look really nice. Pretty happy. Nice little ledge here to put a weld. It should blend out really nice. So now we have our sissy bar on. Our fender, pretty certain this is where it's going to live at. It's just a little bit past and whatnot, and there's a straight line here because this was a front fender, so this is like the bottom part, I'm assuming, or the front part, probably the front part, but it kind of tapers off versus that back part, which doesn't. So we're going to run this. Just kind of straightens out here a little bit, so that should put it pretty well kind of level with the floor. Maybe it kicked up just a hair, so I think it fits a lot better this way. So, because it kind of fish mouths open here. So now we got to figure out our mounts. We are going to run some sort of either Cobra or probably like a baby king queen, something short. So we'll see. I kind of want to run it only until it gets to here, just so this area here on the sissy bar stays nice and clean and open. But we'll see about that. We got to see how thick our seat's going to be. So got to figure our mounts. I have a little piece of stock here. Debating on putting it here, or if I want to do it up underneath the sissy bar and do two bung mounts and weld them to here and then bolt the fender to it. Put a strap underneath and I can run my bolts in. But yeah, so a lot to think about. So I also thought about running a strap here and up under, but I don't really think I'm gonna like how that looks. So I think as long as we do some sort of bung either on the side or up under here, I think we'll be okay. There is a decent amount of room underneath for hardware, enough that you can get probably a button head bolt. Now on the top, that's a different story. So I probably wouldn't want to do anything there, but it's where we're at. We're getting really close now to having our sissy bar and fender mounted. So just gotta get our bungs here, and then gotta figure out something for up here, so we can have some support. This bar right here is probably gonna move it back, just so I can run a bung between here, kind of like I did on the Sportster with the its mount. I sleeved it through here, and then there's a bung that actually runs up through this mount and then it bolts to the top on the Sportster. But the Sportster also has a square tube here instead of this round. So we'll see. I got to figure something out. I would like for this one to be able to bolt it in on the top, just so it's not a huge pain in the butt. Because this one, really, we could just take the sissy bar and everything off. We don't really have to be able to access these for the most part. So just take the sissy bar and fender and take the whole thing off as a unit. But up here, I don't want to take tires and stuff off to be able to get to it. So we'll probably do some sort of mount here with a tab. Make something that looks kind of nice. So we'll see. Maybe do a crossbar mount, or I don't know. We'll figure that out. And then we'll put a bottom one on it just for safekeeping, because we are going to have a passenger on this, and I really don't want this thing to move. So this fender is pretty robust, so really we could probably get away without a bottom one, but we'll see. We need at least one other mount on it, if not two more. But we may just run a bottom mount and then not worry about this one here, because like I said, it is a pretty thick fender, so we might be okay just doing a bottom mount. So still got to figure that one out. We do have tabs here, so might be able to do some little arch piece here that'll give it a good structure, and then bolt it to it. Put a bung on it and bolt it to that. So I do have a bunch of this 5/8 stock. I do have some, I think, 1/2 inch stock, so we could just make a little bridge here. I thought about making a bridge up to here too. And if I do that, then on this side we could use it for an exhaust mount for when we do our exhaust. So we'll see. Lots to figure out. So yeah, let's get to it and get it finished. All right, so finishing up our Fender sissy bar mount. So I made these little guys here. They're going to go in here. We weld onto the frame and weld onto our fender, and it'll kind of mimic the back, so it'll look nice. And then if we do something for the bottom, we'll figure that out. We might just run these two and be done with it, but we'll see. Almost screwed up. So as you see, we have a chain on now. Wasn't really thinking earlier. I was like, we need to put a chain on. So, you know, gotta make sure the fender will fit and with our chain, because we could have a problem. And yeah, I had the wheel centered in the slots, and I'm glad I put the chain on, because it's pretty much all the way forward in the slots. So yeah, that could have been bad. But here's what it is. We got it fixed now. But the one problem I would have run into is I was originally going to put these down here. But alright, so like I was saying, we were going to put these down here, but our chain is right in that place. So I'm glad I put this on. We almost didn't. So works pretty well. The chain is really close to that frame, but it will clear as long as we don't get any side to side movement, which would suck. Because that is super close. If it does hit the chain, then we need to make a wider spacer to space this out. But then we're gonna have to make a whole new thing if we do that. So I'd rather not. Hopefully it'll work just fine. But that's where we're at. So I played around with a little silicon bronze. So welded these on. The first one was on backward, or on sideways, the wrong way. So I had cut it off, put it back on. And then I played around with some silicon bronze. You can kind of see it in there. Little bronze color. Little feller. And then I ground her down. Haven't used it before. Been wanting to use it. I have some. Because eventually we're going to flow it into the frame and clean this all up and make it be able to metal finish it. So that's the plan anyway. So let's get this weld on. There we go. Got our mounts tacked on. This thing is solid. It ain't going anywhere. So sissy bar is all tacked on. All I gotta do is tack these little ears on there, and then finish weld it here. And then once our damn tail light gets here, whenever that will be, then we'll finish the rest of this. But that's gonna do it for now. So making some good progress. For the most part, fender's pretty centered, and it's pretty centered on the tire too. So Sissy bar's not, so don't pay attention to that. It's a little left, but it is what it is. That's what happens when you free bend your rod instead of making a jig for it. But you know, adds character and stuff or something like that. So we'll address that when we get up here. So, but anyway, so still got a bunch of work to do. So still got to cut the tabs off these fenders from where they were mounted. Got to put a mount inside, a brace, so that these don't pull through. I'll put one up here too, just to be sure. I don't want these cracking because these are pretty small attachment points. So I'm going to take a piece of 1/8 inch plate and bend it to the shape and put it inside on both of these. I don't really think we're going to need a bottom one. This is a pretty stout fender, but you know, it does move a little bit. So we'll see. We might end up doing something down there, just a small mount. But overall, pretty happy with how our fender turned out, considering it used to be a front fender and now it is a rear fender that I beat the crap out of, broke my body hammer while doing it, and yeah, that's where we are. So the one interesting thing on this fender is it is chrome. So yeah, that's probably one reason why the paint doesn't stick to it. The other thing is we might just re-chrome it. So once, because I ground through the chrome when I weld this stuff on, I'm gonna ground through it on the backside because it puts off some nasty stuff. So we'll get it all welded and then we'll decide if we're gonna chrome it or not. Probably not. Probably going to having it blasted to get all the chrome off, and then have it painted or powder coated or something. So still not really sure on what colors we're going to do yet. So that's later down the line. I did get some tank emblems. They're the pinhead star looking deals. So we got the little mounts. Harley still sells them, or I guess they started reselling them. I don't know, but I'm going to test fit those at some point. So they're supposed to fit the fat bobs with the adapter things that came with it. So pretty excited about that. Then we won't just have plain tanks, so we'll actually have something on them, and I think they're going to look really nice. So more to come on that. So next thing we got to do is build a seat pan and figure out what we're doing here. If this crossbar is going to stay here or if we're going to move it. It's probably going to stay right here because there's really no reason to move it now that we did our mounts back here and whatnot. So we can use it for our oil tank. That's one other thing we got to build, is the oil tank, or we'll use the factory horseshoe. I don't know yet. Still trying to decide on that one, if we want to build it or just buy one. So there's plenty of them floating around out there, so I'm sure we could buy one and then modify it to our liking, of course, just like we've done pretty much everything else so far, besides a few things we made. So might end up doing that. So I need to go out and visit old Josh Knoll anyway and see what kind of goodies he's got out there. So making progress. Gotta do that. The other thing is the foot pegs. We gotta make those mounts. So the primary and all that stuff is here, the clutch, all that stuff, it is right there. Probably gonna put it on next just to have it on. That way we can get a real good look at what's going on here, and then I can actually figure out where my foot peg is going to go, because we're going to put it directly center line of the motor. I'm not going to do a high mount like a Frisco, because I don't see that being real comfortable. But with the way I had them on the other bike, with the pegs way out front, it wasn't real comfortable. And also this bike is 3 inches longer than stock, so we'll see how this goes. Probably going to put a fat seat pad on it to make up for it. So we'll see. More to come on that. So yeah, making good progress. Pretty happy with it. I did take off a couple days this weekend, so got my homework caught up for old school. So should be able to put in some good work on this thing and hopefully get some really good progress this weekend. So never built a seat pan, so that'll be interesting. From what I've seen other people build, it doesn't seem too difficult. I mean, it's just a flat sheet pan and they bend it and put some braces and stuff in it. So we'll get that going, and then gotta figure out our pads and all that stuff. So, you know, all the fun stuff. Almost done with fabrication though. So, well, I'd say we're halfway done with fabrication. Still got to do our foot controls and whatnot, and the seat and the tank, or the oil tank. And other than that, we're halfway there. And then comes all the fine detail finish work. So that'll take longer than building this whole damn thing. So mainly because just like I did on those mounts with the silicon bronze, I want to do that to all the welds on here and really flow them out and make it look kind of like it's molded, so everything looks really nice and we can metal finish everything and don't have to use any filler, and everything will look really clean and you won't see any welds. But the welds will be underneath, they'll be nice and intact. We won't have to grind any welds down to smooth them down. We'll just flow it out with the silicon bronze. So more to come on that. I need to play with it some more. I need to get some smaller rod. I was using 1/8 inch on that and it was a god-awful mess. So I need to get some 3/32 or 1/16. I do have some really tiny stuff, but it's too thin. So I need somewhere in the middle. So more on that, but that's going to do it for now. So take care, everybody. We'll see you later.